What is up, Earthnoids and Spacenoids? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode we are returning to before the 1-year war as we cover Mobile Suit Gundam, The Origin. Last time, Casaval and Artesia escaped from Side 3 and made their way to Earth, where they were raised by Diabolo Mass. During this time, the Zabi family planned an attack on the Mass estate, killing Ramba Ral in the process. In this episode, Edward and Sayla will move to Side 5, and Dozel begins research and development on mobile workers. So let's get into this. The police arrive at the Mass estate. They comment that it looks more like a war than a burglary. A man comes to the estate. The police tell him to go away, but it is Shu Yashima of the Yashima Company. Accompanying him is a young Mirai Yashima. They visit Diabolo Mass, who is seriously injured from falling out a window. He realized that he got complacent in the past 3 years and never expected an attack from the Zabis. This is because Jimba contacted the Anaheim Company. He realizes that he can't keep Sayla and Edward safe anymore. Shu suggests that they move to Loom. On Side 5, Shu bought a colony called Texas Colony. It was originally going to be a Westworld colony for rich people before the bubble popped and business fell apart. That is when Shu Yashima came in and bought it up in an auction and revived the colony. Being at Side 5 will be seen as an act of submission by the Zabis. Side 5 is the closest to Side 3, so it will be easier for them to monitor Diabolo. Considering he wants nothing to do with the war, this is his best move. Shu also wants nothing to do with the war. He is surviving off of the private sector and will soon be building Side 7, which is home to most of the White Base crew. He introduces his daughter, Mirai. Mirai means future in Japanese. Diabolo says that he hopes she has a bright future. Wait a minute, bright? Future?
Oh my God!
I just put 2 and 2 together. Mind blown. As they leave, Mirai looks up to see Edward and Sayla. On Side 3, Kycelia tells Giran that Degwin is waiting. He says that it was her that killed Ramba Ral. He suggests next time she takes the lead and command the troops on the ground herself. They all come to attention at the sight of Degwin. Dozel is on his own mission. Elsewhere, Hammond Crowley is getting down on that sweet jazz. Ramba is getting drunk knowing his father has been killed. As he enjoys Crowley's voice, some EFF occupiers come in demanding karaoke. Ramba takes out his anger on the EFF soldiers. A massive fight breaks out that is only broken up when Dozel walks into the bar. He wonders why the head of a house is fooling around with Fetty lowlifes. Ramba says that the Zabis killed his family. Crowley holds him back from fighting Dozel. He has come to ask of a favor. He takes Ramba Ral and Crowley to Side 3 Colony Extra Bunch, aka the Dark Colony. Who the hell calls a colony Extra Bunch? This is a secret R&D colony. They run into Ortega of the Black Tri-Stars. Ramba calls him Sergeant, but he is no longer an NCO. He has finally become a warrant officer. They all watch on as Ortega pilots the Mobile Worker Model 1. The Mobile Worker MW-01 Model 1 early type is the first attempt at a military-based mobile suit. It has a shield and a claw arm, and it stands at 16.1 meters tall. It also has a top speed of 80 kilometers per hour. As we will see in a moment, it is capable of taking out a gun tank early type. They also built a replica of the gun tank early type. It technically isn't the real thing and is built off of the data Zeon gathered. The gun tank fires its Vulcans on the mobile workers. It uses its shield to absorb the attack. He pushes forward. Ortega begins picking up speed. He is able to dodge an attack from the cannon and strike with the articulating arm, destroying the gun tank. The Mass family is making their journey to Texas Colony on Side 5. While in the spaceport, Sayla notices a young Amado Ray who is with his father, pestering him about being alive. Aw, poor baby Amado. Meanwhile, on Side 3, Crowley Hammond meets up with Estrella, who is still being held up in the tower on the Daikun property. She just finds out that Rosa Lucia died of a heart attack. She never leaves the tower. She asks about the club. Remember, like Crowley, Estrella was a singer at the club. She says that she misses it. Crowley started hanging out at the club pretending to be 18, but everyone knew she wasn't. That is where Estrella met Zeon. He came in one day tired. Even after learning he was a political activist, all she wanted to do was take care of him. She says she wishes she could have just one more night with their children. Ramba Ral and Nash of the Black Tri-Stars are testing out the Mobile Worker Model 1 late type. These units have long cords extending the units, so they haven't completely figured out the internal power yet. Ramba Ral wins this round. He complains about Mash trying to kill him. He tells Dozel that the cockpit is dangerous and the manipulator arms are slow. They are adding important test data for future models. But there is nothing they could do about the cockpit for a while, as this is just a lunar excavator cockpit. Ral goes limping into the club, where Crowley comforts him. They have a conversation about working for the zombies, but Crowley says that Dozel is different from Caecilia and Girin. She tells him about Cassavell and Artesia being taken to Loom. She also says that Estrella is most likely going to die soon. Meanwhile, on Texas Colony, the Mass family meets with Roger Aznable, the chief of the colony. They get the family set up in their new home. Like the anime, we get a moment of Edward and Sayla riding on horses. He takes off and leaves Sayla in the dust. But she is met with a man that looks exactly like her brother, but with red eyes. He introduces himself to Sayla as Char Aznable. He teaches Sayla how to properly use the reins. As he teaches her how to ride, Edward approaches the two. They give each other a high five. Later, Sayla writes a letter to her mother. She tells her about the new guy, Char. That is when Edward bursts into the room in anger. He informs Sayla that their mother has passed away. She cries out in pain. Later, some boys pick on her, but she gives her a classic Sayla slap. They later go into town. During the past few issues, Edward has been paranoid about people watching him. We are seeing that paranoia here as well. Tiabello goes to talk to the schoolmaster, where they tell him that they cannot teach Eduardo, and they all seem to fear him. He is cold, he is intelligent, and he is very calculating. Tiabello is upset and talks with Roger. They are all concerned that there is an anger inside of him since the death of his mother. He wonders if he should go to the same school as Char, but Roger informs him that Char is about to transfer to Moonzo, which is now called Zoom City, to join the military academy. Roger never believed his son would become a military man. Edward notices a man spying on them and begins picking a fight. It is Texas Colony, so it becomes a literal standoff. But Sayla comes out and stops him from fighting. Later, Char comes to visit and informs Sayla that he got into the military academy. He came to say goodbye. Sayla leaves Lucifer, who is feeling sick. They all have dinner where Char talks about how hard it is to get into the military academy. He talks about it being the age of Zeon and how Daikum's ideals are spreading, not knowing he is talking to Daikum's offspring. After dinner, Sayla returns to her room to find that Lucifer has passed away. Sayla mourns Lucifer's death when Edward comes in informing her that he is leaving to go to school on Side 3. He says they won't see each other for some time and takes his leave. Sayla runs after him as she is tired of people leaving her. Char and Edward are in a big city in Loom waiting for a shuttle to take them to Side 3. Char is a little confused why Edward came with him. He can't get into the academy and things are very competitive on Zoom City. Edward simply says that he will find his own path. Meanwhile, on Zoom City, Caecilia is informed that Cassavell is trying to make his leave off of the colony. She realizes he is trying to get to Side 3. She tells her men to kill him. Caecilia says he could have lived longer if he chose to stay on Side 5. On Texas Colony, Sayla and Roger go to find Edward. He left without telling Tiabello. Sayla tells Roger that Edward went to Zeon and plans on avenging their mother. The two make it to the spaceport. As they go through security, Edward notices that there are once again people watching them. They are stopped by security. Char has an antique gun, which is preventing him from boarding the flight. He doesn't want to miss the flight or he will be late for his first day at the academy. The two go to the restroom and they switch clothes. Char is now Edward and Edward is now Char. This will allow Char to get on the flight looking like Edward while he takes the next flight to Zoom City. This works and Char is able to get on the flight. The people spying on Edward go forth with their plan. Roger and Sayla tried to head to the spaceport to find Edward, but it is too late. Edward, pretending to be Char, had the gun confiscated and will be able to take the next flight out to Side 3. Meanwhile, Char seems happy to start his new life on Side 3. That is when he realizes that he doesn't have his acceptance papers. While he has a freakout, the shuttle explodes, killing everyone on board. As Edward is in the spaceport, he looks at the news to see information about the downed shuttle. The news shows that Edward Mass is dead. Edward is now Char. At the military academy, Girin gives a speech to all the new recruits. All the zombies are present along with General Revel representing EFF. Dozel Zabi also gives a speech as the new dean of the academy. They do a roll call. When Char's name is called, Caecilia looks suspiciously at him. Representing this year's class is Garmazabi. He approaches the podium and sees... don't do that, Garma. Wait, is that how this chapter ends? Are we really ending on this awkward moment? Okay, I guess. And that will do it for this episode. Zeon is making progress on Mobile Suit production, while Edward, now going by Char, sneaks his way off the colony. Much of this plays out similar to what we saw in the anime, and doesn't really divert from the source material. Next time, Char will go through the military academy and convince Garma to overthrow an EFF base. But that will do it for now, new types. Remember to always be on the lookout for spies. You never know. You never know. Peace.